Hello, what's up guys? It's Lolowut Coffee Break.
Had he stopped in Central America, he would be in such a better position right now.
Neither person receiving a card piece, they just defended or attacked in simple Argentina.
That lost is the first team in the whole tournament to show what is the synergy between your picks and your teammates.
We can see that train town pick in West Russia is going to be key because he's right in between his two opponents.
7 total bonuses that are South America, West Africa, East Africa.
But that's just an example of how luck can play into this.
Hello, what's up guys? It's Lolowut Coffee Break. Alright, today I'm just going to go over with some ladder news, news from past stream events, and probably a little bit into the community, a little bit more into the community side. And about 30 minutes in, I'm going to have a special guest, and we're going to play a casual game of one versus one while I interview him, or her, for that matter. This is just a look at my dashboard right now. I was going to take a look at the 1v1 ladder. Right now we have undisputed champion of Zyvik, well, disputed somewhat by Chris over the past week. Chris has been getting to rank 1. Dead Piggy has been staying relatively the same, and we have a newcomer called Atticus Finch, who's quite an interesting player. He's made some forum posts, which I find a little bit, well, actually a lot, very honorable, mostly about how he was going to surrender a game in which the player had left WarLight and was not coming back. He wanted to surrender instead of keep on playing. Look at a few of Zyvik's most recent games. He actually was able to beat Atticus Finch, Terminator Frank, Richard Sharp. I mean, this guy is doing really well on the ladder so far, and with that best rating ever as 2001-103, we can expect to see him in the #1 slot for quite a while. Chris was rank 1, but went down. I think it was because of Zyvik's win over Atticus Finch that Zyvik was able to get his lead back. Of course, Chris playing a little bit more games than Zyvik, but losing a little bit more. Dead Piggy has been doing fairly well. He did lose against Atticus Finch. I know that they are looking forward to a rematch here and then. Dead Piggy has been beating some really great players over the course of his ladder history. Unknown Soldier, JSA, even more so. He has beaten Atticus Finch again, Nico, Hey Hoo Hey, and then Dunga, and then Hey Hoo Hey again. He's beaten Chris, I think, more than one time. I think. I'm not seeing it right here, but anyways, I could see him taking the #1 spot only if Zyvik were to lose another important game. Atticus Finch, a little bit more interesting, been playing a lot of games, been beaten by some of the better players in the ladder, but still retaining onto rank 4 over Hey Hoo Hey. It's doubtful that Hey Hoo Hey is going to be able to get up to rank 1 for quite a while now. And Atticus Finch here has actually beaten Hey Hoo Hey quite a bit. I think it's 1, 2. I thought there was a third one. I'm probably mistaken. I looked over it before, but he's one interesting player. We do believe he's some type of alternate account, but you know, he will not disclose that. Anyways, that's the 1v1 ladder basically summed up. Let's go back to the dashboard. My bad. And over in the 2v2 ladder, Doggy and Trilusa have been holding on to their rank 1 lead for quite a while. Ruthless Bastard and Grinchy both been down. A little bit debatable about the caliber of players that they played, though. Although I think the win over Luxus and Frank here, and the one over Rubina and Unknown Soldier are quite notable. And Hey Hu Hey and Dunga, all the criticism I think needs to be wiped away from that because they've beaten some really important teams. I do not think they're playing Ruthless and Grinchy right now, but they did not play it before they got rank 1. So that might be a little bit of the dissent coming from that. Hey Hu Hey and Dunga actually went down to 3. They were at 2. I think they were at 2 for quite a while, but they lost against Doggy and Trilusa, which brought them down to 3. All right, and not the other people in the 2v2 ladder are in contention for first place, but it's not going to be for a while because of ratings. They'll have to beat one of the top 3 definitely to move up substantially. Okay, going on to season 5, which is very much a toss-up. I mean, anyone in the top 5 could potentially take first place. I know that Chaos will not be able to contend for first place anymore, but anybody in the top 5, if they win all their games, and assuming that people above them do lose as well, we could see anybody in this top 5 making it. Dead Piggy been able to keep his first place for quite a while with some great wins over Window Cleaner, Goatfinger, and Chaos, Desert Fox as well, and a few other really great people, Noob School and Ruthless Bastard over here. So definitely deserves a rank 1 right now. If he wins both these, he should retain it, but you never know. You just never know about the seasonal ladder for me. We could see Ruthless Bastard coming up to take first place, but I think he actually dropped out of the ladder, or else they're just not playing, or the ladder has ended and they're just waiting. Well, I'll ask Fizzer about that later. Anyways, that sums up a little bit of what's been going on the ladders. Regarding my live stream events, we can go ahead and take a look at some of the things going on over there. The 2v2 did finish. If you guys were wondering, it was a win with Hey Hu Hey and Intimidator over Hedja and Fridge. It was quite an interesting tournament. We had some great teams come out. Dreuge and Brisk, and Dunga and I were also in there, and not to mention some of the other teams were surprisingly not many from the ladder, but the teams that did show up played pretty good, and Hey Hu Hey and Intimidator just showing their dominance throughout this tournament. This game will be we'll bring in some commentators, and we'll do this game later, and then we'll put it on YouTube. I don't know if we're going to stream it. It's a Mythonian's tournament, so up to him exactly how he wants to do that. As for the last 2v2 tournament, we're still waiting on the Schwenigan, Shady, and Dunga and Reza game to finish. What happened there is, back in the first round, we had Phantasmagoria and his partner Tetragrammaton stall, and Phantasmagoria has since quit, and Tetragrammaton will not be joining any more of my live tournaments. I did not kick Phantasmagoria because it was not really his fault, but he did quit later. So that game will definitely be put on YouTube. My Shade, Swenigan, Dunga, and Reza should be quite an interesting game coming up there. If you guys missed it, we did have a live tournament on Saturday, it was kind of a weird tournament because we had a lot of the professional players making mistakes. We saw Hey Who Hey eliminated first round by Timinator. We had JSA pulling a win over Atticus Finch. Atticus Finch actually left that game. He had a little bit more important things to do, so he was knocked out. And JSA got a win over Nico by Nico having some trouble with luck and some trouble with picks. JSA had better picks, a little bit better strategy going. Nico unlucky and not as great at picks. Then we skipped over to the final round. It was Timinator versus JSA. Timinator pulled a win over JSA, and that was, I think, later. I don't remember exactly the details of that game, but Timinator with showing up strong and winning both live tournaments this weekend. Congratulations, Timinator, and congratulations, JSA, making it all the way to the final round. And that sums up all of our stream live tournaments, and I'm gonna jump back over to some of the forum posts made recently. I don't know if you guys have noticed this guy. His name's Lion. I really have no idea who this guy is, and I assume he's an alternate of some type, but his posts are just hilarious. And he's posted on my thread. I have to read this. Lala Monkey. So you want Jungle to analyze your coffee break after watching a TV? Lion's advice: not ingest coffee with sugar. Senses dull. Heart and mind race. Recognition when sniffing but become lame. Other animals exploit weakness and gobble up your loins. Mole, digger, and other posts manifest the strengths. This guy, oh my god. He has to be one of the funniest trolls ever. If this is saying in chat room that it's Glee, oh man. I don't care if it's Glee. This is just... I would have rather not know who it was. This guy is just funny as all else. You guys need to just check out some of his posts. They're just hilarious. I crack up laughing when I'm reading his posts. Other than that, we have some other community-hosted events, mostly by General Mac, the Flightweight Belt, which has been really interesting. I've been watching some of the games there. And we have this guy called Oregon Ducks. And again, another alternate of somebody that's quite good because he was able to beat Hedge. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, Hedge was able to beat Hey Who Hey, and then Oregon Ducks came in and beat Hedge, and I think he retained it with Vapor X. Oh, non-quack, so. Wait a minute. Okay, that troll. Okay, that meant quack. Yeah, he's retained the Flightway belt for 2 games now, and he's quite an interesting player. I've been watching some of his games. His strategy is pretty good. Other than that, we're still kind of waiting on the list to see some of the more experienced players. We can see Luxus is going to contend for it, and then Dunga. Then we have some. We do have Brisk and Druhe, both, and then Hey Who Hey coming back in again later. So, not sure exactly who's going to be able to keep Flightweight belt legend for the longest. I'd imagine Dunga might be able to pull quite a long lead until Hey Who Hey or Brisk come in. So that should be interesting to watch. I don't know if you guys need to check this out or sign up for it, because it produces some very interesting games, and you're going to be able to play some really good. You're going to play some really good players in there. Other than that, he's been hosting other belts. One of them being the bantamweight belt, which I find interesting because I'm a 2v2 player with my friend Lolowut. GSA. Wow, I'm just messing up all today. Drew Hay and Brisk have been pulling such a tight lead over this belt. I think they're at 5 wins now. Oh no, they got beat by Ironheart and Hedja. As you see, I've not been really paying attention to this lately. I've been waiting for my game to come up, really. Anyways, Drew Hay and Brisk able to keep 4 wins, quite impressive. And then we're going to see some other great teams coming up here. Mac and Goatfinger. I thought Dunga and Hey Who Hey actually. No, it was Dunga and someone else. I forget who it was that was playing. They lost to Brisk. Wait, it was X. Yeah, it was X Apex over here. And so you can see some very tight games coming from this. Some really good players coming in. I think at one point the Poem brothers were in here. And it's worth either joining or watching. I mean, we might actually end up putting some of the games on YouTube. So definitely check out some of those. That's basically what's happening in the strategic community. And then also one other thing, before I forget, because Ryan did ask me, there is a 3v3 promotion relegation league. And I'm not too much of a 3v3 player, but I know that there's a lot of people out there who love those settings. And he's been working with Schwinnigan and My Hand to get the correct settings to get it all set up correctly. And so this should be very interesting. You guys should probably check it out and join. There's gonna be some really good teams coming in here. At JSAX. I'll probably end up joining it myself. But it really, you guys looking for more of a challenge in WarLight. You guys need to really check out all these events being hosted by other people, because they are going to provide quite a bit of a challenge. Definitely this league, I can see as soon as Schwinnigan. I don't know if Schwinnigan's going to join eventually. He's been working with Ryan on settings and everything, but not sure if he's going to join yet. Yeah, and in chat we have Min34 is looking for a third man for that. So if you're into it. Okay, and so now I'm going to jump into the more roleplay community, because I know that community is very much alive. I've kind of been working on a World War II 1942 scenario. It's good. I'm working right now on the standing armies. I haven't really been doing much lately on it. But I was going to let you guys look at it. Go to customize. And we go to its initial distribution. All right, here. And in slot A we have Nazi Germany, and then slot B is the Japanese Empire, and slot C being Vichy France, slot D being Italy, slot E being Finland, and then we jump over to the Allies side. We have, I think I put Britain as F, G is America, H is Canada, I is Russia, J is China, and we have K as British Africa, M as L as Free France, which I kind of threw them in there to contest Africa. We have M as the Pan American Union and N as the Australia. What I wasn't looking to be completely historically correct. I mean, there's obviously a little bit discrepancies on there. I did add some territories to be a little bit more accurate. I mean, you do have some of the British islands coming in play and some of the French islands coming in play. I mean, New Caledonia was controlled by France, although they didn't get any armies from it. I just add that just so we have territorial position and positioning advantage. Because I want to look at this from, you're the leader of the country, how would you do it? I don't want to force you to fight in Britain. Maybe you decide to get rid of Britain, move your capital to India, and decide to fight in India. I don't know. If you're that crazy, you can go ahead and do it. But, well, and I'll get a little bit more historically accurate with the standing armies, because that kind of has to happen in order for the Axis to have an advantage. It will actually equal advantage over the Allies, because the Allies definitely outnumbered the Axis, but the Axis definitely had a great army. So after I'm done doing my tweaks on this, I'm going to be hosting a little bit of public games, and then later I'm going to start a tournament in order to find the best Axis players and find the best Allies player. And yeah, maybe I should wait for the new huge Earth map, but the thing is, even if I do, this isn't a World War II map in the first place. You know, there's a lot of there's a lot of bonuses in here and countries in here that don't exist. You know. So I'm just kind of making the best of it. Some interesting things going on in the role-playing community. I mean, we do have the RP clan making some really awesome games lately. I was put into a few of them. This one was one, and I'm going to read off the settings. You can ask Joel Mac if you want to join in, because I know we have 2 slots at least open right now. And basically, what this is it's a free-for-all game. It's not a free-for-all game. The fact is, it's a free-for-all team game. You don't get to choose your team. You get thrown into a team, and then within the team you vote for a king, and the king cannot be even hit. It's called the 5 fragile kings. So the king cannot be hit by anybody. So therefore you have 2 military people who can be hit and hit other people, but other than that, you can not have a territory taken. So it's, you know, it's interesting. I'm going to be playing it myself. Maybe you can join and somehow get on my team. It's going to be random, but you know, you never know. We do have one other one that just started that Discord made. Discord being the being Francisco Vile, if you guys know by that name better. This one is more about like a scenario to where you have Europe, and it's after the World War II, but he assumed that World War II was much more brutal than it was in history. And he said that many atomic bombs were dropped in European American soil. And so you're basically starting back at the beginning of Europe. I was going to look at the distribution mode. So basically you could start from like Germany, and then you'd take parts of Germany, and then I think I'm starting in I'm going to be starting in Ukraine, and so you take back your country, and then over the course of the game, there are going to be constant events happening every turn, the 2 events per turn, and which are going to be like certain leader declares against another leader, or a certain event happens in which one leader can declare on another leader. It's just really interesting things that these guys are coming up with. I mean, this isn't your typical strategy game, but you know, it's to me, I think WarLight should be more about the community and what the community is able to make. You know, all these strategic games are fun while we're doing all these tournaments, like doing live stream and things like that. But what's really cool about WarLight is the endless possibility, you know, that Fizzer presents us. Anyways, I'm going to take a break as I get my guest mic'd up and ready to go, and then we're going to go on to the interview. All right, guys? See you guys in a little bit. Hello, what's up, guys? It's Lolowut's Coffee Break.
Had he stopped in Central America, he would be in such a better position right now.
Neither person receiving a card piece, they just defended it or attacked in simple Argentina.
Team that lost is the first team in the whole tournament to show what is the synergy between your picks and your teammates.
We can see that train town pick in West Russia is going to be key because he's right in between his two opponents.
7 total bonuses that are South America, West Africa, East Africa.
But that's just an example of how luck can play into this.